Hello. How are you on this fine day? I, personally, am a little tired, but we're gonna get it done anyway. Probably could have had a little bit more to eat before the gym, if I'm honest. But we're gonna make it work. We'll just have to eat more after. Where I live, it is going to get very hot this week. Going to be pretty consistently in the mid to high 90s Fahrenheit. If you can't tell, I'm American. So that's going to mean less baggy clothes or less oversized long clothes. Maybe shorts on days that it isn't leg day. Shorts today on leg day. I'm wearing them under my pants. Probably tank tops on more days, less t-shirts for a little bit. Well, it's not like I'm recording every single day. What am I saying? Anyway, today's legs. I haven't recorded a leg day in a couple, Figured it was about time. I haven't been doing anything exceptionally different. I've been keeping to roughly the same couple exercises. Doing Smith squats most of the time. You're probably going to see those today. Yeah. When it is this hot, make sure to hydrate, obviously. Now, I'm sure anybody watching this is likely already quite gym inclined, and therefore you probably already keep yourself quite hydrated. And if you don't, you should. But I think that electrolytes are helpful above just water. Not necessarily like absolute miracle cure or anything like that, but I always start my day with a scoop of some kind of electrolytes. Doesn't really matter what brand. I try to look for ones that have a good amount of all the electrolytes in it and isn't just a sodium bomb. But I feel like probably this probably helps your body hold on to the water and utilize it a little bit better, especially if you're pretty active, especially if it's this hot. But I don't really have a crap ton of topics for this pre-workout car talk. I've already been sitting in the car for long enough trying to think about what to talk about. And since I'm doing this pre-shift at my job, time is a-waning. So our leg days normally aren't too long, so it should be fine. But I still gotta go get a little bit of gas. So I'm gonna call it here. I will see you in, a couple minutes for me, a couple seconds for you. See you in the gym for calves. Okay, so the calf stuff I normally use, which is just like a leg press or something, is all taken right now for some reason. The one time people decide to do legs is the same day that I decide to do legs. So we're doing a seated calf raise instead.
ponytail?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Somebody just recognized my tattoo. That happens more often than I think it does. So, pretty good set of 10 reps for 160. I'm gonna do a couple more of those, but again, I'm not gonna subject you to the torture of sitting me there watching me do a very boring exercise, but I'm gonna do it. So, see you for hamstring curls of some variation. Those are always pretty hard. Okay, now for some single leg alternating. That was good. I think I'm actually gonna get another of that, and then hopefully the line curl will be open. I like to do a lot of I like to do a bunch of hamstring in a row, and then yeah. There's some people in here, so I'm going to try to make this fast. Okay, probably only 2 of those. That's enough of that. Okay, so it is time for some squats. Still warming up and increasing in weight. Good to make sure every little supporting bit is warmed up with such a compound movement. And yes, I use a belt, not because I'm using a particularly high amount of weight, just because, I don't know, I help support my lower back and shit. And I remember hearing from like powerlifters and stuff, you should practice how you play. And if you're going to use equipment during your top set, warm up with that equipment. Not feeling particularly flattered by myself today. Okay, so gonna probably start recording again when I get to a working rate. See you in a second. Okay, so aggressive overloading and shit. So we'll see if throwing this on there kills me. Last time I got 4 reps. Gotta get a good song going and hit the ship. 6. Ain't that something? Oh, that last one was a little messy, but turned a color there. Okay, so back down to just one plate. Gonna just go for as many as I can. Yeah, after a good amount of rest, by the way. Okay. How many was that? Were you counting? I got 4. Oh. I tried to pause a bit more. I noticed that when heavier set I kind of I'll call it 4. I think that's enough for squats, but move to like leg extensions next probably. Yeah, more isolation stuff. Okay. Leg extension time. Yeah, put the pants back on. Just because I felt like I was getting too much attention walking around in booty shorts. I can be pretty self-conscious, especially with this stupid camera. Yeah. This I don't really need to warm up for since it's later in the workout. So just, I don't know, probably moderate weight squeezing. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Gotta try harder next set. Okay. Set numero 2. was kind of disappointed in my intensity in the last one. I gotta pick it up a little bit in this one. More of a heavy toss it around. That's a bit better. Another of this exercise, similar style to the hamstring one we did earlier, where it's like alternating, double. Just kind of until exhaustion. And I'm thinking maybe if I have time, we're gonna pump out some machine leg press, like the stack lift, or just kind of a full leg obliteration at the very end. Okay, time for alternating until I cannot stand. And quad are a little teensy bit behind, so I try to make sure they get a teeny bit more attention. You may have noticed, I don't know if I caught it in any of my squat recordings, but if I'm not paying attention, I tend to always like lift up the bar with my right leg, like step into it and then kind of pick the bar up by pressing out with my right leg, just because it's my dominant leg. So I try to consciously either do it with both or do it with my left, because for the longest time I would do it with my right, so it's a little bigger. That might be it. A little bit more hamstrings. Never be ashamed to head back to an exercise you've already done if it felt good the first time and you feel like you could use a little bit more. I'm not going to do like a whole nother 3 sets, probably just 1 or 2. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll hit 2 of those, but I'm not going to record the second one, so I'll just to the post down for you. Okay. It's always hard to find a spot with this relatively short angle camera to catch my legs, so I'm gonna have to. You won't be able to see my face. I just put it as a tripod on the ground. Okay, that's that. Back to the car. Okie dokie. That was good. Yeah. If you couldn't tell, I was feeling a little bummed in the middle there, but I managed to recover. That's the important part. I don't know really why. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that big. Sometimes it happens, you know. I hate to feel like the mirror dictates how I feel in the gym on that day, because it doesn't dictate the entirety, but it's definitely a factor, and more than a factor than I would like to admit. And yeah, today I just wasn't feeling that good. Like, decent. Lost a little bit of leanness so far, but you know, maybe scrolling too much YouTube and Instagram today. Not necessarily Instagram, but you know, YouTube. Seeing people bigger than me, which is inspiring, obviously. You know, I try to make it as much of a positive motivation as possible. But sometimes it's also like, damn, why can't I be that? It's only a matter of time, bro. Only a matter of time. Just gotta keep showing up, keep pushing, keep optimizing, keep grinding, and I'll get there eventually. And I've gone so far. I've gone far from where I used to be. Now, obviously, you don't know what I used to look like. I used to be a real twiggy twig. I don't think this would pick up a screen very well. Otherwise, I'd show you like a picture on my phone of what I used to look like. But I was itty bitty. Now, obviously, in comparison to a lot of people, I'm still relatively itty bitty. But, you know, like, look at this. You know, I mean, I'm not monstrous by any means. But enough with the negative self-talk, you know. Even if you think you're telling yourself it is a joke, if your brain hears it enough, it's going to start to believe it. So positive self-talk, positive affirmation. But people joke about that kind of stuff being dumb. But it's not excuses if you do it right. It's you gotta motivate yourself. You gotta be your own hype man, just in case nobody else will. And you can always use more than one hype man. You know, if you got a good supportive group around you, you can always use one more, yourself. I am decently proud of myself for increasing weight on those squats. However, like I said, I could have been more controlled with the set. I definitely, bounced out of the bottom a little bit. My legs were starting to get a little wonky on that last one, my knees. So, definitely nowhere near ready to increase the weight again. I gotta practice with that weight, 155, until it is under my control. There was a term I heard somebody use. Let me try to remember it for a second. Yeah. I don't remember if it's exactly this, but like saying you gotta be in control of the weight. If it's too heavy, if the weight is in control of your movement, you need to be in control of the movement of the weight. It was something a little bit more wise and insightful sounding than that. But yeah, it was effectively like once you increase your weight, it's going to feel a little crazy. You're not going to be able to dominate it. But then you just keep practicing, keep doing that weight until you are completely in control of its movement and comfortable with it. Then you move up out of your comfort zone yet again. And that's what this here book is for. I've been tracking, I rolled my weight in the wrong spot. So here is my whole last month of body weights and calories consumed. Morning weight, absolutely nothing in my stomach, or like after using the bathroom without consuming any water, or or anything. And then because that's when your real weight is. If it's after, at the end of the day, after you've had dinner, obviously you're going to weigh like 3 pounds more. So then here is some of the days recording my split. I'm sure you can't read a single word of it. Not only might be mirrored or something like that, but also my handwriting is completely awful. And I'm abbreviating things to save space. But as long as I understand it. Yeah, like here, it's the 27th, my last leg day. I did Smith squats, 155 for 4 and 135 for 7. And today I almost swapped those. Today was 155 for 6 and 135 for 4, which would have liked to do more, but it's a relatively early workout for me. I take what I can get. But there's the pen. I think when you're tracking stuff, you don't necessarily need to go whole hog into tracking your every breath. I feel like a lot of people get into that kind of a mistake with a lot of things. That starting something, you need to dive in whole hog or not at all, which tends to lead to you stopping. People will not have worked out for a long time, and suddenly they're going to the gym every single day and then running 3 miles. And they go to the hospital because they have a heart attack. So that's not a good way to do it. You want to start off slow. You want to ease into things. You want to start tracking your food? Start by just tracking your protein or just tracking your calories, and then add in the other. And then as you get more advanced, you can start tracking all of your macros together. I'm not at that point yet. I'm still just on calories and protein. I'm not tracking my fats and my carbs separately. Sorry, the view fine. The little screen turned off. Where's the button? There's the button. There's the button. And with working out, if you want to start, maybe start 3 days a week. Something simple, not too intense, 30 minutes. And then work your way up as your body gets used to it, as your mind gets used to it. You want to start tracking your workouts. Maybe don't immediately get a full written program where you track every single rep, every weight of every movement. Just start by tracking your main compounds. Start by doing a sit split. Work it in. But anyway, starting to just talk. One final little note for the 2 people that will see this. It's really odd. I posted a back day video. I think at this point it was like a day and a half ago. It has severely underperformed in comparison to its comments. The last 2 videos I posted had like 20 views by the time it was at 2 days. This one has 4. Quattro. So, and I did a bit of an experiment. I made the thumbnail a picture of me talking while in the gym instead of a posing picture. That might have partially been why. Secondly, I made a shorter title. From what I hear, title, like it needs to have keywords in it, and it recommends it to people. But it's a learning process. As I'm learning how to track things and stuff, I'm also learning how to social media, how to influence the masses. So I'm gonna call it there. It's almost been a 10-minute talk. I can see this. There's a little number for me in the corner. So I'm gonna let you go. You better not skip legs. You don't want to be standing on twigs. You want to be standing on tree trunks. Get in there. Have a good day. Enjoy the sun while it's out there, assuming you have the sun. I've been hearing there's a heat wave in Europe. Good luck with that if you're European.